Did you have me unmuted? Well, sorry. Guys, welcome to the Merry Boozers RC channel. It's great to have you as always. We have a very special show in store for you tonight. Some of my very good friends from back in Texas, back when I was just getting started in aviation, and I had the awesome idea of having them on the show, and they agreed, and I can't be happier. As y'all saw in the beginning, we still have the Merry Boozer RC Fly-In coming up in November. Don't forget, it's Toys for Tot. It's for charity. We'd love to see you there. I just heard from Rich, the RC Informer, that he has confirmed that he will be at the event now. So you guys that want to meet him, it's going to be really an awesome event. So tonight, we have some special guests waiting in the wings. I don't want to wait too long to bring them on. We have Philip Goforth and his wife Kelly Goforth from the racing team number 69 Knotty Girl, and they've done a lot of other things over the years, but I can't wait to have these guys on. Let's bring them in. Guys, you can hit the unmute button and get over here. Come talk to us.
Hey there.
Good to have you guys. I mean, I've just loved what y'all have done in aviation for years. Guys, when I was in school, Philip used to take me flying with him, and this is back when I was the Penguin. I didn't get to fly. You remember all that, don't you, Philip?
Yep.
So, anyway, tell us a little bit about who you are, Philip and Kelly, and tell us what y'all have done over the last couple of years in air racing.
Go ahead.
No,
You go.
All right, I'm Kelly Goforth, and what have I done? I have managed Philip,
Which is a big job.
Several other pilots over the last 10 years. Currently, I am the promotions chair for Formula One, International Formula One Racing. On my shirt, you can see it.
Yeah.
Been trying to find races all over the world, and I don't know, that's about what I do. I show up in Reno in September, I fix lunch for everybody, and yeah, like I said, I just boss a bunch of people around to make sure they are where they need to be, and that's it. Philip's the main, he's the show pony.
He's the show pony.
Okay? He's the show pony. I make sure everything else happens, and he just gets in whatever plane I tell him to do and say, go fly, and that's what he does. And he does a good job.
I told her a long time ago, honey, I'm not a workhorse. I'm a show pony.
And it's the truth, huh? So, I mean, we have a picture of one of your planes down below us. If you want to tell the guys about the airplane, most of these airplanes in F1 are all custom built by you guys.
Not by us, but by the pilots and the owners,
Right.
Yeah. We've built a handful over the years. That one just happens to be Knotty Girl. That was my first airplane that I bought and put together. The one you came and helped me work on when you were a little penguin.
Many years ago.
Yeah.
Many.
That was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
When I first started with that one. And it evolved into, the picture you have there was the last rendition of it, where it had a carbon fiber wing, carbon fiber tail, all the latest, greatest gadgets I could have on it. And it got me second multiple times in the international circuit, and I believe the highest I placed was fourth at Reno in the gold with it. So,
which gold class is no slouch. I mean, that's some of the best ones in the world right there.
Yep, that's
that is the best ones in the world.
There you go.
That's where all the innovation is happening in the, always in the higher ranks of each class. There's many classes at Reno of racing. We happen to be one of them, and the gold echelon of each class. That's where the magic starts happening. If you make it in the show, you're doing pretty good.
So I guess for some of our guys that haven't really seen Reno or know about it, which I don't know how, can you explain how those classes work and how the scoring system works for Reno?
Well, it's basically like NASCAR. A lot of people think of us as being kind of like Red Bull, and Red Bull's more of a time trial where they fly through gates and it's kind of aerobatic. Mm-hmm. Ours is more of a NASCAR situation where we all take off the runway at the same time. We run down the runway, and then we all fly around a 3-mile course at the same time. And so when you show up, we can have as many people show up as we want. Like this year, before it was canceled, we were on schedule to have 30 airplanes show up, and we're only allowed to take 24. And so that really makes guys want to fight to make their planes faster, make them better. And so all 30 can show up, but we only take the fastest 24 to fly the 3 heats. We have a gold, silver, and bronze, and there's 8 airplanes in each heat.
Wow.
So then you race all week long, and you're allowed to bump up and bump down a class once.
See, I didn't know that part. See, this is the neat thing to me is kind of learning how the ins and outs of it work. For somebody, we're a radio control channel, but, us guys love, and you're going to think this is funny, we call you guys full-scale pilots because we're quarter scale and whatever else, we call y'all full-scale. I don't know if you've ever heard that before.
We're full-scale something.
So we have some guys in the comments asking, what do the average racing planes weigh? What's your all-up weight on these aircraft?
The goal is 500 pounds. That's the magic number. Most don't make it to that. They end up being heavier. I mean, obviously, the lighter you are, the faster you go. And as per our rules, it has to weigh 500 pounds. So everybody tries to get it as close to the minimum number as they possibly can.
Okay. And as far as engines, what kind of engines are you guys running?
We're allowed to use Continental C-Series engines. It's the same as a trainer airplane. A Cessna 150 has a Continental 0200 in it, and that's what we run. But we run them almost twice the RPM, so they're making a little more horsepower.
Right. Just a little bit. Twice the RPM. So how often do y'all have to rebuild those engines?
We try every year or every other year. I mean, that's just a reality. They don't last very long when you're running them hard like that.
So let me get Lori to bring some of the pictures on the screen as we're talking. We've got pictures from all over here. I'm going to just have her kind of roll through. And you guys might know that guy.
We know that guy.
This was a long time ago.
I know that guy 50 pounds ago.
Oh, ow. Oh, man. Ow, stabbed to the heart.
Where do you see my pictures? I'm at least 50 bigger.
Right?
We go and we spend all this money to make our airplane lighter. And then about August, Philip decides to go on a diet to really make a difference.
Yeah, because I guess...
It's called Red Bull Beef Jerky Diet, and it lasts about 3 days, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it works.
Because I guess your all-up weight is considered the pilot also.
Yeah. There's
no.
some pilots that have to wear...
Well, yeah, there's a minimum pilot weight, so you have to be 160 pounds. And so we have a few girls that race with us that are lighter. They actually have to wear either a parachute or a lead vest.
So they can make weight.
We're like jockeys.
I would have never thought that in a million years until you said that right then.
I've never had to worry about it.
Never. He's never had to worry about it. And I start complaining about January. You think you're going to fit in the plane? You think maybe we should lose some weight? Never happens.
So another question the guys are got is, what is the speed you guys are running normally in your races?
It depends. Our bronze guys are running anywhere from 175, I think was the slowest one this year, up to our fastest one was 260.
Which is
this last year.
Moving on a Cessna engine.
Correct. If we weren't pulling 3 Gs every 30 seconds, about every 20 seconds, we start a 3G pull, and we do that twice every lap. If we weren't doing that, some of these airplanes could reach 300, no problem.
Wow.
Straight and level.
Wow. So, and then for you guys that haven't ever seen Reno before, I did add pictures down here in the bottom. That barrel-looking thing is the actual pylon they fly around. And you can probably see it down there, too.
Yeah, it's Yeah, in the bottom right corner of the screen, you can see the 2 airplanes flying around it.
Those are
Yeah, I know.
It's a little difficult for it to happen actually like that, but it's cool.
Yeah. So
There you go.
at Reno, there's these they're 55-gallon barrels that are up on top of telephone poles. And each course, like we have the Formula Ones and the biplanes go around an oval, little over 3-mile course. Then the T6s go around, I believe it's a 5-mile course, and it's a bigger oval. And then the sports, the jets, and the unlimiteds, they have a really big course, and I don't remember the exact distance, but it's a long way, and they're going around it in about a minute as well.
And guys that want to actually see this, there's lots of videos out there on YouTube of the racing. I'd love to put it up here for you right now, but copyrights kind of keep me from pulling up NBC's broadcast and showing it right now.
Yeah. Well, they can go on YouTube and just pull it up. NBC Sports, NBC Sports, and then you can. I think they've done that the last 3 years. So you have to look at each year and see what's what. The best one was, what year was it?
2018.
Was it 17?
I'll hold that one for a second, too, Laura.
Last year was 19, so the year before. Yeah. So we ended up, we kind of resurrected an old racer that had been parked for about 12 years. It was called El Bandito.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Bright red.
And you'll see it on the video that we spank our little buddy from Canada named Scott Holmes. We let him think he was winning the race, the whole race. And then the very last turn of the last lap, we just went bloop. And there's pretty good videos of him in there. He's cussing and yelling and moving all around.
Jason Fisher says it was 2017.
2017.
And it would be called the Steel
Power Move of
the Week.
Man.
Little Scott the Hottie who used to wash our airplanes back in the day.
Yeah, he was kind of like you, young and showed up and worked on the plane, and now he's been racing himself. He's doing really well.
Really well.
I think 4 or 5 years now he's been racing, and he's got a new airplane coming that's going to be awesome too.
Yeah, and guys, something I want to tell you about the Goforth family is they have always been people that have brought us young, new aviation people into their lives and shared, airplanes and let us work on them and go flying and things that, when you're just starting out, you're hungry and you're just looking for anybody to let you get in an airplane because it's expensive. And so it was always just so amazing that Philip would be like, yeah, come on, get in the Merlin, let's go flying, whatever. And, any airplane you had, let's get in the Cub, let's go flying. I'll never forget Horseshoe Bay, landing out on the sandbars in that Cub. That was amazing experiences of my life that I remember. Flying in an L-39. I would have never flew in an L-39 if it wouldn't have been for this man right here. It's the truth. And that was one of those memories I'll always cherish, Yeah,
I was still kind of mad about that because I haven't even ridden in an L-39 yet.
So we also have a picture down below right now. You haven't flown in an L-39, but I know for a fact that you get to fly in a Spitfire.
Yep.
So
I fly things with the propellers.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about the Spitfire.
It belongs to a company that builds them, and I'm kind of their test pilot, demo pilot, and so it lives here at my house with me. It's a 90% scale Spitfire Mark 26. It's got an LS7 Chevy motor on it with a reduction drive. It looks and sounds and flies just like a real one. It's pretty cool.
My guys are eating that up right now because anybody that's into RC airplanes has a Spitfire at least once.
Well, yeah.
And to know somebody that's actually flown one, amazing.
Yeah, we're trying to get that one in the a second class that's at Reno, is the sport class, and we're trying to get it to where we can race it there.
Really?
We're having insurance issues though. For some reason, they don't want to insure an airplane that has a car motor.
Really?
But yeah, we think we're almost around it though. So maybe 2021, it might be there.
Huh. All right, Laura, you can go on to the next slide.
With a heck of a lot of sponsorship behind it to get it there.
Right. I mean,
keep that in mind. You want to see this baby race at Reno.
Hey, you know, at the end of this, do you guys have a way for guys to support you? Our guys from our channel love getting behind people like you and supporting with donations. So it might not be a thing that we could get around. We could maybe get y'all some donations through our channel for racing.
That'd be cool. I mean, our biggest thing, you know, we try not to,
right.
I don't know, just do it for ourselves. Our goal the last 10 years has really been to build our class back up. And so we've sacrificed some of the money that we would have had to put into our airplane and you know, other things to put into our group. And it's really helped. Our numbers are up. I mean, we've got a bigger following than we've probably ever had now. So it's kind of resurrected the group, and it's been awesome.
So, Lori, let's go back one more slide because we got to do a big shout out to Izzy.
Oh, there's my girl.
So, do you want to tell everybody about Izzy? I've known Izzy since she was about this tall, sitting in my lap, and this is the one person in my life that makes me feel old.
Yep.
Every time I see Izzy.
Izzy's been coming to Reno with us for several years, since she was probably 6. I should have sent you some of those photos. But she's traveled with us. She's gone to Thailand twice racing airplanes. She's gone to China with us the one time that we went. An interesting thing about this is that the little girl knows so much about what's going on that she was able to set up timers, the people that time the airplanes as they do laps in Thailand and in China. She was able to do it with the language barrier. It was, I mean, visuals. She was showing people, you know, running around. It was really amazing to watch my daughter just grow up into this, you know. And everybody knows her there at Reno. And there's also other kids that show up that she's hung out with for several years. And her ultimate goal now, she doesn't really care. She doesn't want to go into aviation, but she does want to race airplanes and beat Scott Holmes. That's her
goal.
Goal right now.
And I told her it's not that hard. I've been doing it like 5 years now. So,
right.
So that's her goal. She's gonna get her pilot's license. She's gonna get her hours in. She's gonna go race. She's gonna beat Scott, and then she'll be done.
You have to be 21.
Oh, is that the rules there?
Yeah, it's minimum age is 21 to race, and you have to have 500 hours.
So we have the product designer for Motion RC, Alpha at Motion RC over in China. He's saying, do you fly with the LS7 like the engine from the previous Z06 Corvette?
Yes.
There you go, Alpha.
Well, it's actually from the. I think the engine actually came out of the. Is it? What's the little hot rod Chevy? Not the Grand Am. The one that's kind of the.
4-door thing?
There's not many of them made.
The 4-door car that Chevrolet makes now.
No. No, it's a 2-door car, but it's some of them were in the Vets and some of them were in the
Camaro.
GTO, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. So it'd be a Pontiac rendition, but yes, it's still a 30 or 350 at the end of the day.
But it's an LS7 though, yeah.
Right.
Makes 430 horse.
And he's also asking, do you do gear reduction on it?
Yes, it's a 1.7 to 1, and it's a dual cog belt reduction.
And I think we have a picture of the plane without the cowling. We might find it here in a minute, and you might be able to see that. So Lori's still going through some of the pictures down here below as we go. So if we all see it here in a minute, you'll see it.
So, there is a gentleman, Gav Street 13, who asked if we were there the day that the Ghost crashed. And the only reason that I want to address this and say, yes, we were there. We were like 50 feet from it actually happening. But the reason I want to bring this up is because we have a Formula One pilot who was actually hit by the plane, was in the hospital for several months. His name is Jason Barksdale, and he races Formula One now.
Yep, he made a full recovery. 3 years ago, he brought his airplane here to my house and stayed for weeks at a time, and he come down and we showed him how to fly it, got him spooled up on how to race, and he went and won Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
His plane's called Tony the Tiger, and then he's got another one called, I think it's called Unfinished Business, and that's true. It's still unfinished, but he'll get it done. He'll get it done.
Both of them are sitting in my hangar waiting on him right now.
Well, I think a racing plane can never be finished.
No, that's not the truth. Everything's 5 more miles an hour. But anyway, that's why I wanted to address,
Right.
yeah, we were there when the ghost happened, and it was awful, but something really good came out of it for the Formula One class, and that was Jason Barksdale. So I'm very impressed.
Well, awesome.
With that kid.
Awesome. And I actually know Gavin. He's a young man that's very new into aviation, but he is becoming one heck of an RC pilot. I believe he is 14 right now, and he's actually an amazing little kid. We really like.
We'll send him out here. We'll teach him how to fly big planes.
Lori, go back. Lori, go back one.
Okay. Rare bear, baby.
That's the goal, right?
Oh, baby. You guys know what a rare bear is. There's been a lot of RCs of those over the years.
She looks good with me sitting in her. We just need to get that out there.
I think we got Alpha in the chat tonight. I think we need a Knotty Girl. I'm just saying. He's the guy that could make us have one.
It was so pathetic watching him climb in Rare Bear and sit there and make airplane noises. I'm just like, get out.
So don't forget, guys, no matter how far you go in this, whether you're flying in Reno or not, there's always a plane that you look at and go, ooh, okay, I want that.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm not an inline motor guy. I like round motors. So that airplane right there, it's on the Playboy Bunny list for sure. That one and Checkmate is the other one.
Wow. And then there's Precious Metal now, too. But that's an inline motor.
That's cool. That's a cool airplane, but it's got an inline motor.
That counter-rotating propeller is pretty cool.
Look at that smile.
That's a man that's happy.
That is pathetic.
Alpha's saying that could be arranged on the airplane.
She needs me. She was sending good vibes.
Oh, yeah. Man. So let's see. Where are we at here, guys? Somewhere in a hangar with a bunch of racing planes.
Oh, we're at Reno. One of the few times they actually got a picture of Kelly and Philip together.
Oh.
And then he's wearing that stupid beanie. Oh, my God. Everybody, people were paying me money to burn the beanie. I said, he needs to wear it because you can find him in a crowd now. Because, all these pilots, they're not all super tall. They're all about the same size, same height. And I lose him, and people are forever asking me, where's Philip? Where's Philip? And now it's easy to say, find the stripy beanie. It's like a weird follow of Reno.
Man. So what is your shirt tonight? I know you did that just for us.
Your
shirt. I know you wore something special just for us. What is your shirt tonight?
Oh, it's a shirt they sell at Reno. It's just got all the different racers on it and stuff.
Oh, baby.
I never wear it in public, but I figured it was perfect for this. Yeah.
Oh,
it's got airplanes all over it.
Look at that guy. He's getting serious and ready for racing.
Yeah, that was in Thailand.
So tell us about flying in Thailand. I mean, how was that? It's the language barrier, that kind of thing. How was it?
It's not as hard as you thought or would think. The people, I've been impressed everywhere we've went because every kid that we met spoke a minimum of 3 languages. When we were in Africa, those kids could speak German, French, I believe it was Arabic, and then whatever their native English too. And so we've never really had a huge language barrier. And Thailand specifically was probably the most giving place we've ever been. I mean, we showed up, our typical circus of race planes, and we didn't want for anything. We said we need, and before we could even finish the sentence, there was about 6 guys out there welding and banging and just building anything you could think of. And So it made us lazy because we didn't want for anything. All we had to do was start saying it, and within, an hour it was built or done or cleared or anything you could think of.
So can you explain this picture?
Yes, I can.
Zoom in a little bit so you can see what's happening.
It was so hot over here.
Zoom out.
I kind of lost my mind a little bit most of the time, and it was fun.
It is.
It was relaxing. It was a good time. Somebody's asking how we got them over there. We ship them over in a container.
Yeah, the wings come off as one piece, just like the RC wings. It's except on the bigger ones that slide together with the spars.
Mm-hmm.
Ours stay together, and the spar goes across, and we just mount them on the wall, and then the fuselage and everything goes up in the shipping container.
So another question was fuel quantity or quality and availability in places like Africa and Thailand.
It was a little challenging when we first got there. Because they don't do a lot of avgas in countries like that. It's mostly diesel and jet. The first barrels we got, because they just brought us barrels and went, "Is this what you're looking for?" And they put it down in front of us. And the first one we opened was skunky. We couldn't even use it. I mean, it would barely light a fire. And then, but they brought us more, and as far as the most fun to fly, Africa hands down is the most fun to fly, or Tunisia,
really?
Anyways. Yeah, there was zero rules. I mean, we made them up as we went. So,
and I mean, here's a picture of you with some kids. I don't know where you're at here, but you probably remember this. It doesn't look like around here.
No,
that's Thailand. Because if it was China, we would be in winter gear with rain covers on, freezing our butts off.
Really? It was that cold?
That's Thailand. Oh, it was freezing in China.
Really?
It was like rainforest.
I would never have thought of it being cold there. I mean, I've never been.
We raced one time where the visibility was so bad, you lost the airplanes on the backstretch. I mean, it was, in retrospect, it was kind of stupid. But we pulled it off, and nobody got hurt or hurt anything.
So we do have another question. In Thailand, where was the actual event held in Thailand?
Utapao.
Utapao.
Yeah.
Utapao.
It's an ex-military base that they turned into it's still a military base, but they have keep that picture up, and I'm gonna say something about that. But they have airline service and everything into there now. It's just a wonderful big airport, and that when we raced there, we were dodging. They had some 747s and some other things parked, and we kind of flew around and through those. It was pretty fun.
It's amazing. I mean, hearing the stories.
We were a show, definitely a show there.
Yeah.
I mean, the royal. It was just amazing.
Yeah, we met the king. We met King's daughter.
Wow.
Then I don't remember that. I remember waiting because the princess was at our house and wanted us to wait, so we had to hold off.
No, he walked through before he died.
Oh.
He walked through the first year.
I must have been off doing something important when that happened.
So in between the 2 years we went, though, the king actually passed away there. And so it was the second year we went. It was kind of a big deal. They had a pretty big service.
We wore black.
Wow.
I remember black.
Yeah, the second year was, all flowers and lilies and, peace and love. And the first year we were ringside to the Thai bullfights. We were the main event next to they had the big outdoor Thai bullfights, and it was awesome.
Wow. It's just amazing how different cultures are. You know what I mean? You know, how much different that is than what we'd have here, It's amazing. So you were wanting to talk about this.
How you wanted to talk about that photo right there.
Maybe.
Oh, so I don't know can everyone see these same pictures she has up?
Yep.
So this was my very first year, and we have to go to a thing called PRS. It's the Pylon Rookie School, and you have to go take a check ride and prove you're good enough to be there. And I went 2 years in a row. The first year I went, and then my airplane, I didn't get it finished in time. The second year I went and managed to race that year because we got the airplane done, and the cards all fell in the right place. But the first year I went, I met this guy that's standing there. His name is John Hall, and he doesn't race anymore, but he's the only reason probably I'm still here or even made it, because you see that big trailer in the back. He flew me. He lives in down by San Antonio, and he flew me to PRS every year when I didn't have any money to buy plane tickets or to do anything. And he picked me up in his RV-8 and flew me there 2 years in a row. And then the second year, he let me use that trailer to tow my airplane. I showed up with just one airplane in that monster race car trailer.
That we normally would put like 3 airplanes in.
Yeah.
And then he rolled it out. I don't know if you can see that poor, pathetic-looking Knotty Girl, but she's got a jacked-up paint job.
It's got the pink and yellow, and there's other pictures of it.
Pink, yellow, black,
it's actually
red numbers.
It's the one over there flying in that picture.
People built in the garage.
Yep.
I didn't go that first year because I didn't think he was going to come back.
And that was something that we were all talking about too. Air racing is a dangerous sport. It is what it is. But that's part of NASCAR or anything else.
Yeah, we've lost a few in the 12 years I've been going there. There's been, a handful.
There's a better picture of that paint job.
Isn't that crazy?
I think it was beautiful.
It was not beautiful.
And it's been through several paint jobs. I liked the dark purple paint job too, though.
Yeah, that was my favorite. But with every new mod he did, he had to have a new paint job. So.
And I remember him bringing in different wheel fairings, different cowlings, and he had a different canopy during the time I was there.
Yeah.
And they'd always change it.
We changed it every couple years. We were chasing the speed, trying to do everything we could. When I first started, I qualified with it looking like that, with the purple and white. We qualified right at 200 miles an hour. It was like 200.001. Wow. I mean, it was just barely 200 mile an hour. And I think in 2018, I qualified 236.
Wow. So you gained a whole 30 miles an hour, or 36 miles an hour.
36 miles an hour,
and that was just mainly changing features of the airplane.
Everything. Wings, we changed the wing twice. We changed the tail. When it first started, if you can see the picture again, on the bottom corner there, that's where it started and where it ended up. There are the 2 renditions of it. So when it started, it had a wood wing and a fabric tail and fabric fuselage, kind of heavy composite cowlings. And over the years, we switched to, all carbon wing, carbon tail, carbon fuselage skins. It was new landing gear that was airfoiled and gun drilled. I mean, everything
thing you can do to make it faster.
Think of. Yeah, and then we finally got a real engine sponsor that did some nasty stuff to my motor, and it that's where we finally ended up getting a lot of the speed at the end.
Here's Annie.
Yep, there's Annie.
So let's hear about Annie.
You're rolling through different airplanes Philip has flown over the years, and this is, besides El Bandito, this is another one of my favorite ones. Her name is Annie, and Philip can tell you the story about her.
There was a guy named Carl Swinson from Houston, and that airplane raced from, I think, very early 70s all the way. I raced against him before he finally retired in one of my first races. And that little airplane right there, which people think of you can see the wing profile. It's kind of they call it a slab wing. It's real boxy. And you would think that's slow, but Carl kicked my ass so bad it made me cry a little bit. we started the race and it was just bah, and all I saw was the tail end of that plane just leave me, and I was just. And we were fortunate enough to. Carl passed away a couple years ago, and we were fortunate enough to. His widow allowed us to buy it, and we told her we were going to keep racing it. And so we brought it home and basically ran through it, restored it, put a good motor on it, repainted it, got it all caught up, and that's 2018, I think.
Yeah.
And I managed to keep her. I finished 6th in the gold.
Wow.
With a slab wing asset. It made a lot of people unhappy.
Well, and yeah, when you're looking at all the other planes that have these long, skinny wings and super, sleek things, and you look at that one and you go, that can't be that fast compared to those.
She was fast. I did, I think right at 220 is what she did in the race.
He is the current owner of the world's fastest slab wing title from Grip Lock Ties.
Really?
I'm not the owner of.
Owner of the title.
There you go.
Because Buddy Air Racing LLC sold Annie to a young pilot from India, and we're still waiting for him to come back and learn how to fly it.
Well, he's flown it a few times. How do you say his last name?
Pushwag?
Pushwag.
I don't know. We just call him Push.
Yeah, he's an airline pilot from India. And he keeps it, so I have it here at my house. I still fly it. And so, because he's not here flying it, and I might as well.
Might as well, right?
Might as well.
So, yeah, and you fly some other very interesting things. I've been seeing it lately on Facebook. You're flying a Platus now, by the look of it.
A what?
Is it called a Platus?
No.
Piaggio.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, maybe we can get Lori to bring a picture of it up later, guys. For you that don't know what it is, it's one of the strangest looking airplanes of all time to me.
Looks like a pregnant catfish.
It's turboprop, pusher. It's just a wild looking airplane. Which,
it's fast.
Yeah. And you're flying some kind of a small jet now, too. Commercially.
Yeah, a Citation CJ. Yeah, that's my 2 planes I fly for a living.
Lori's going to go try and find a picture of it real quick. I don't know how she's going to do it, though. It's red and white. It doesn't matter, Lori. Let's go back to the other pictures. Oh, she's got through them all. She's switching into a different line of pictures. She ran out of that folder. We got to go to another folder. We came prepared. We got lots of pictures tonight. So, anyway, guys, it is amazing. Philip has flown stuff all over. You've done the Alaskan Bush Pilot. So, how was that line of work, too?
That's just what we did. When you grow up in Alaska, you're not really called a bush pilot. You're just
a pilot. But it's us guys think, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, everybody flies though. So
Philip's been in aviation for a very, very long time now. Not too long though. He's not old or anything.
I think he's calling me old.
He's calling you old and fat.
Old and fat. That's right. You said 50 pounds. You needed to get more weight for the weight class, like you said.
Hey, that picture right there is a good one.
All right.
Yeah.
Philip's got a good story on that one.
Okay.
So that big trailer that I was hauling, the first year I went, I go like an idiot. I followed the GPS, and it takes me all the way across Texas, and we're trying to drive to Reno. And then you couldn't drive a trailer across the Hoover Dam. Now you can. But so it took me all the way to LA, then up California, and then across Donner.
Holy cow.
Donner Pass, California, back into Reno, and which was a horrible way to go. But I'm glad I did, because I ended up, there's a guy named Al Goss, and he was kind of a legend in the T6 class. His airplane was called Warlock. And when I came across Donner Pass, I saw the Warlock trailer pulled over to the side and it was broke down, and I just happened to pull in there, and I said, hey, you guys need help? And so I stayed with them for about 2 hours, and we loaded some stuff in my truck to haul into Reno for them. And then when I got there, I had no idea who he was. So he comes back up, introduces himself to me. He said, if there's anything you need all week, I'm like, you just tell me. And I was like, okay, cool. Thank you very much. And I had no idea he was basically like the king of Reno, coming over to tell me that I was worthy to sit in their pits now. And so throughout the week, that week too, I had no guidance, no crew, no nothing. I had a friend I ended up making that year who's still my really good friend, Tom Watkins, and he helped me through the whole week. But nobody told me how to pass, how to race. When you're out there, they want to beat you, so they don't want to tell you how to be better.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so my very first race, I sat there and I chased this guy like this, and I was in second place. And I was just, the whole race, I would catch him in the straightaway, and we'd get to the turns, and I would lose him. And then I would catch him in the straightaway. And finally, he pulled just some dum-dum move, and he went, woo, and cut a pylon. And so, I thought I was messing up at that point. And he cut up the middle of the track and got lost. And so I ended up winning the race anyway. But then this Al Goss guy, he comes over as soon as I land. He's like, you won, but you shouldn't have. Now come over here and let me tell you what you did wrong. And we sat there, and they call it hand flying. And he showed me how to pass, how to do everything I needed to do in like 15 minutes. And in the very next race, there was did you see the picture? It was the two purple airplanes. It was my airplane and another purple airplane.
It might have been in our last box of pictures, which we could always.
Yeah, it was in the
other.
But that race, that was my second race, and that was the first pass I ever did, because I caught him and I did exactly what he said, and I stacked up high, and I was able to close in on him and pass him, and that was the coolest feeling ever, just actually
making that first pass.
Doing something right that somebody tells you how to do it.
Right. So I guess what you're saying is it's kind of where you move in and come out. And it's something I'm not ever going to understand. I don't race, but yeah.
Well, They describe it as, so if this guy is flying a circle, if you're down here, how am I sitting?
Here, I'll move out.
So the guy on the outside is flying a longer track, and so he has to be going faster in order to get around, unless you stack up high, and then you're flying the exact same distance, and so you're able to keep your speed and get around them.
Wow. Well, Papa Boozer has asked, what is it like to be in that airplane, start to finish? What's going through your head? What kind of G-force?
Hold on.
Okay.
So, back it up again to the blue.
All right.
Blue airplane. I guess I got.
You got sidetracked.
All right.
Yeah.
Which one? This one.
So it's a really, so that right there. So, go one more picture forward. So you can see I'm not 69 this year.
You can zoom in a little.
So this is my second year racing. So after Reno, I stayed in touch with Al. He and his wife Anita, and then he crashed in his T6, and he passed away in the crash. And so the next year, or I started almost immediately as soon as I heard about it. And I asked her, I said, Anita, can I do a Warlock tribute just 1 year and turn my airplane into Warlock? And she started crying, and a lot of people cried when we brought it to Reno that year.
Wow.
It was, I don't know if you can zoom in on it, but
yeah, we can.
Painted fake rivets,
every single
everything
rivet
that was
is airbrushed, and I mean every single one. This guy took forever to paint this.
So
yeah, it's kind of hard to see. I wish we had a picture of the bottom underneath the wing, though, because that's totally different.
Yeah. So that was kind of.
That's a really cool tribute you guys did to that.
Yeah, it was one of the more special years for me, for sure. Getting to give some people closure at the races. And we weren't real fast that year. We spent all the money on the paint job instead of doing speed mods.
Let's see. I think there's another picture of it. One more slide, Lori, if you want to zoom in on that next one too. Oh, wait, where'd it go? The other way? There it is.
That's the next year. Yeah.
So the underneath of this wing, which you don't have a picture of, is actually hot. It's bright purple, and those
the trucker
naked ladies sitting there, silhouettes. All over on the bottom of there, and it says Knotty Girl in big, huge letters. So when you're flying and it came up, you could see the purple Knotty Girl. So it was a little bit of us and a whole lot of Al.
Yeah. That's really cool, guys. That's really cool. And, that's...
Everything's got a story with us. Everything with Reno has got a story.
Well, and that's what these guys love, about the sport and everything. Even in small scale, like we are, I mean... the best things about airplanes and aviation is the stories and the memories we make with all of our friends. We go to an event every year called Joe Knowl. Unfortunately, with the corona, it has been canceled this year. And but every year I get to see so many of my friends there. It's 1,600 pilots show up from around the world to fly at that event. It's amazing. So, did I miss something?
No, Kelly said, "Are we yelling?"
I wonder if we're yelling.
No, you sound good.
You're good.
Okay.
Am I yelling at you?
So, no.
Yes.
Wesley. No, you're not.
Quit.
No, you're not.
Quiet then.
You're hurting my inner child.
So there's another question that says, has he had any really close contact with any pilots during a race? No, never.
Would you like to elaborate on that face?
Well, it's dangerous. It is what it is. And, luckily, over the years, I've seen a lot of stuff happen. And so you're kind of your head's on a swivel. You're always looking around and seeing things that are happening that most people, that are new are so concentrated on racing and, trying to do everything right that they forget to do this. Just look around. And I've had guys come fly inside of me and cut me off like this, and we do a debrief after the race, and I say, I'm like, what the hell was that? And they go, what was what? They didn't even see me. And so, it's it gets dangerous. And then, we've had, when you're flying an engine that's a hand grenade that you basically, before you take off, you pull the pin out and you hold on to it. And then when you land, you go, oh, thank God, it didn't blow up. And you put the pin back in and park it. And so, there's all kinds of stuff that's happened. I've had a fuel tank rupture. I've had a brake lock up on landing. That would have
been exciting in a tail dragger
airplane. Off the runway. There was a picture of an airplane called Invictus there, and I was second in the gold that year. I was actually leading the gold race in the pole position on takeoff, and it was a really gusty year. That was 2010. And we all took off and got going, and the big gust of wind happened, and it just went and sent me off the runway. And I finished taking off in the gravel and was bouncing, and finally hit a taxiway and bounced up and got flying. But I went from first or second in the gold to...
Because, but also with that, you take off from a standing into the race.
Yeah, all eight of us. Yeah, all 8 of us are stacked on the runway.
I don't think a lot of guys realize that. Y'all take off. The race begins from the ground.
Yep. Yeah, so they got a flagger, and it's just like NASCAR, except with NASCAR, they're already kind of moving. Ours, it's more of a Le Mans start. They put the flag up, and everybody's in the airplane, and they go, book, and you go, wah, and you just leave as fast as you can. And there's some really good videos on YouTube of Knotty Girl doing some passing on the ground.
So, and then we've got another picture of, I believe this is Knotty Girl again with a different paint job on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hear about this
That was
one.
her rat bot year.
Yeah, that was the next.
Zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, that was
No, that's red rug gear because it's black and silver and red.
Yeah, we took that's the first year of the new body, and so we got it done too late in order to get it all painted pretty and get everything fixed right. And so we did the body work real quick, and then a guy in Odessa, it's called Wrap Star. He wrapped it real quick for us with this flat black. He's like, "That's the only color I got," and I'm like, "Whatever, do it. We're normally purple,
Right.
but do it." And that same year, we took our buddy Nathan had a big diesel rat rod, and we took that, and that was actually our tow
The
vehicle.
pictures are in here. We'll show it here in a second. Oh, I think.
But that's the first year of the carbon body and the carbon tail. It still has the wood wing there.
It's amazing how much the plane has changed in the years, from the beginning to now. It really is. Watching that iteration.
Yeah, that's the new wing.
Oop.
That's the new wing. That's the new Cato wing.
So when you changed wings, how big a difference is that, going from a wood wing to a carbon fiber wing? How big of a speed difference was that?
I think almost 20 miles an hour.
And is that
15 to 20 miles
Is
an hour?
that more to the weight of the wing or the shape that causes that?
Both. It was a lot lighter, and
And
it.
I guess it doesn't flex as much either.
No, it doesn't ride as good. The wood wing was way more fun to fly. I mean, enjoyable, because it would flex, and you didn't feel every little bump. And the carbon wing is just rigid as it can be, and so you're just.
That's the part that amazes me. How much different, from putting different wheel pants on the airplane, or a different canopy, or as drastic as a whole wing. How much those little things changing on the airplane change how fast the plane goes. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. So we figured out that the canopy was slowing us down too.
The way it was last.
So I mentioned Tom Watkins earlier. That's in the white shirt. That's Tom Watkins.
Zoom.
He's pretty much like family now. It's more of a brother than a friend.
There you go.
And then
There's Justin Phillipson.
Justin Phillipson. He's probably the new me. I'm slowing down, and he's coming in, and he's
faster and faster.
He's getting faster and faster, and he flies just about anything as well. So
my guys are in here. You should make your wing out of foam. It makes ours way faster.
Well, it is foam, but it's wrapped.
It's foam wrapped in carbon fiber.
That wing was CNC foamed and then wrapped in carbon fiber.
It's amazing. The technology nowadays is amazing. How much that kind of thing has changed,
Yeah.
So
it's getting easier and easier for us as well. With CNC machines now that can, when I first started, having access to a CNC machine was unheard of. I mean, you had to know somebody that knew somebody that had a gun and pictures of them doing something stupid in order to get to use it, And now it seems like everybody has a 3D printer and a CNC machine that can, cut out the halves to mold a perfect body, and it's.
I know a guy.
That's
wink,
why
wink.
we're getting faster and faster too.
He might be in the chat tonight. I know a guy that's got a machining shop down in here with a bunch of CNC machines. Raven Rock Aviation.
There's Russ.
There's Russ.
He's been my crew chief, or on the crew, since day one. He was one of the guys I met at Reno my first year, and he just showed up and he introduced himself. His last name's Wright, and he said, "I'm Russ Wright. I'm the third Wright brother." And I was like, "You're in, buddy.
You're in. Perfect."
So, he learned so much over the last few years that he ended up winning Crew Chief of the Year a couple of years ago. To go from a spectator to winning the Crew Chief of the Year award, That's a pretty big
I
deal.
can't believe that I haven't got a chance to come to Reno with you guys yet. We've talked about it,
We invite you every
we've
year.
talked about it so many times. All right, we got to do it. Depending on next year, I'll make it happen. We can do it.
We invite you every single year.
We're gonna have to make this actually happen. This has got to happen.
It's not that hard.
I know. I'm gonna fly in. We'll bring the camera equipment. It'll be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Just just fly into Big Spring and then just do the ride up with us.
With you.
Oh yes, it's so much fun. It's always an adventure.
Do we get to bring the Prairie Dog?
Of course, if you'd like.
That's the other thing. Y'all are Prairie Dog sporters now, huh?
Well, she kept saying, I want one, and then I just happened to be driving at the hangar, and I saw a little baby running across the road, and I jumped out and snatched it up.
I can't believe it, yeah. Lori said, I knew you said one of your friends had it. I didn't realize it was them. It's a cute thing. Most of these people don't even know what a Prairie Dog is.
Here, he's going to get it.
Oh, yeah, here you go. Y'all are going to get a treat. You know what a Prairie Dog is? I bet there's a lot of people that don't. We don't have them in Florida.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
I haven't seen one.
There's our Prairie Dog right there. His name is Cousteau because he likes to jump into the pool and swim around. He's about 3 times the size of all the other prairie dogs in the area because I feed him well.
He's lactose intolerant.
I bet you guys didn't think you were going to see a Prairie Dog tonight.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
You never know what you're going to see here at Flyboys Race
The
Camp,
Flyboys Race
Big
Camp.
Spring, Texas.
Well, and then...
So right here, this is one of my favorite airplanes that you have up. It's owned by Jason Crawford, but Philip has flown it multiple times.
Oh, the Disco Biscuit.
Disco Biscuit. That's not its real name.
Here, we're going to make it better, I think.
It's called Sonic Zoom. Yeah, I've raced that,
There you go.
I think 3 times now. And it's more of the traditional, call it a slab wing cassette. I think I did about 180, 85 with it.
Okay.
It's so quick off the line, though. It just,
Yeah.
it starts the race every time. Usually, we end up getting caught, but it's super fast off the line.
Wow.
And it's so much fun to make fun of. So much fun. People put little Skittles behind it, you know, when
like
it's
leaking Skittles.
Like it's leaking Skittles. It's a lot of fun.
I actually really dig the paint job. It screams 80s to me.
Oh yeah. You know what I'd like? I'd like Philip to wear like a gold lamaze outfit
Oh my gosh.
sometime and just start
Yep.
Disco it on
Some
the
kind of
discoing it out.
Staying alive flight suit.
Yep. See, Naomi's on there. She sees Skittles.
So,
she knows all about
What's the duck here?
That covers the fuel vent.
That also makes you aware so that you don't lean up against it and break it off.
Ah.
That may or may not have happened multiple times.
Aha. 4.
Is he pointing?
Holy cow. No. Couldn't be.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The
Dude.
crew chief? What the heck?
Get her to tell you about the propeller and the camper.
All right.
So, okay, the propeller in the camper. This is a really good story. So, back in the day before we had trailers, we had a snow machine trailer. And so we would load up Knotty Girl on the snow machine trailer and hook up behind our silly little camper. Well, logic would say you would take the prop off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's what everybody else has said since this has happened.
Only because they don't want to hurt your feelings.
They don't want to hurt my feelings. So I guess I turned it just a little bit too close and I kind of, not jackknifed it so much, but the back of the trailer may or may not have bumped or tipped or kissed is a good word, kissed this brand new prop that he hadn't even raced it yet.
Ouch.
Carbon fiber,
Carbon
reconditioned,
fiber.
repainted, perfect.
Did it damage it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. But you know what? I'm still not to blame because it shouldn't have been on the airplane in the first
That's right. You tell him.
Yeah.
It's never my
What is
So
a-
Scotty the Hottie's on right now. I can see him, and he says something about I passed that airplane so many times. He's probably talking about
Skittle.
Sonic Zoom.
Yeah.
He's not talking about anything else like El Bandito, Knotty Girl. Hi, Scott.
Is that Holmes 540?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Scotty the Hottie.
No,
What a
it's Scotty
name.
the Hottie.
We call him the slowest Canadian, but whatever.
What is with he's asking what you're wearing, Philip.
He's wearing his Reno shirt and no pants.
No pants, of course. Nobody's wearing pants tonight. It was the rule. Just no standing up.
No.
That's a good picture of the start right there.
Yeah, it is.
Zoom in a little, Lori. Or make it full screen. There we go. Let's make it bigger for everybody. So this is actually setting on the runway at Reno.
Yeah, that's pre-start of the race, so you can see how we stack them out there. That's the very back row. You know how you can tell because Scott's in it. And,
Burn.
no. So that's actually that might be the front row. But so you stack them across that way with 3, and then about 1,500 foot back, there's a stack of 2, and then 1,500 more feet back, there's another stack of 3, just like the front. And when can you see there's a little golf cart off to the.
Hang on, Lori will bring it back up. She was getting ready to transition off of it.
But on the right side of the runway, there'll be a truck, and
Right side.
you can see the guys holding the flags there. They're
Maybe
still.
zoom in. There's the golf cart. Is that what you're talking about?
That's the contest committee people.
Maybe it's on the other side.
No, that is the back row because there's.
Well, Phillipson's on the right.
But that was.
There's Scott.
But anyway, that's how they line them up on the runway for the start.
Huh.
And then you can see the grandstands and the rest of the Reno stuff over there on the right as well.
All right, Lori. We're bringing it back. There we go.
Retro. That's Dave Morse.
Yep.
That guy has the most laps of any man alive at Reno.
Wow. That's a pretty neat record to have.
He's raced every class at Reno. Unlimited. I don't know if he's done the jet or not, but sport, unlimited, biplane, Formula One, and then he's a test pilot as well. When people build new planes or new designs, he test flies.
Is there any chance of you doing the unlimited class one day?
If somebody would give me an airplane, I would totally do it.
Kelly.
I mean, it's very expensive.
Oh, yeah.
It's like where our group is attainable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can do really well for not a ton of money, and
There's the disco plane.
just to show up with an unlimited, even a last place one is a big commitment.
Right. Well, it
mean-
kind of reminds me of the RC guys. You know, we go to an event and my guys are more of the entry-level guys. We stay in the foam, electric planes, but then you can go into another end of our hobby and go into turbines, and they're $5,000 to $20,000 for a remote control plane. So
Yeah.
we have the same thing, and most of us guys look at that and go, "What? Here's your disco bird."
No, we were looking at Scott's comment. He loves the back row so he can pass.
There had to be some trash talking.
I'm still wondering when that's happened, but
We knew there was going to be some trash talking. We all heard about it.
Oh, that's what we're all about. Trash
Oh, yeah.
talking and having a good time.
We are too,
But-
trust me.
we're all like family at the end of it, though. I fear for someone that would walk in our hangar, and even someone we don't like in the group. I fear for someone that would talk to them wrong. It wouldn't end well.
Right.
Yeah, Jason said Dave raced in the jets as well, so he's done
Everything.
every class.
So there's a nice close-up right there. I mean, y'all are right there on
Yep,
each other.
That's a guy from Switzerland. His name's Vito Weipractor.
That was his rookie year, I think.
No. The rookie year was when I was in Invictus.
Oh.
That was 17 or 18. I passed everybody. I led the gold race for the first 3 laps in 2017 with Knotty Girl. And then they all caught me. Passed me after about 3 laps.
I mean, it is amazing to me going back and looking through this, how long you've been doing it now. Because I remember, guys, when he just got into this. I remember when it was just a dream. I'm going to build a race plane. And it's amazing to see where it's gone over the past, 12 years, I think, since you were starting this adventure.
We've been racing 12 years. We've been building, trying to get ready for 14, I guess.
Because I remember the day you came in. This was back when I was at y'all's house all the time. What y'all don't know is I used to call Kelly Mom. I mean, this was Mom number 2. And, I mean...
And I wasn't old enough to be your mom.
And she wasn't even
either.
old enough, that's right. But I just did. I took her in. I adopted her as my second mother when we were in Midland when I was going through flight school. And, God, I spent so many days at y'all's house. And I remember the day Phillips was like, I'm bringing a race plane home. And Kelly was like, what? I remember it like it was yesterday.
Was that the yellow thing that was in the garage?
Yes.
The first
yes.
one? The little yellow thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, like I said, then he moved into Knotty Girl. And Knotty Girl was a lot different looking back then. I mean, a lot.
So that's the Formula One hangar, the Formula One biplane hangar. So you can see how we're all stacked in there throughout the race week there at Reno.
How hot does the cockpit get during a race? I guess it depends what country you're flying in. I know that when we were in Thailand, Philip, it's so gross. This is so gross, but I'm going to tell it anyway. They had this ice cream container, you know, like you see at a grocery store. They had one at the hangar for us because we were all just melting. Philip would drench his flight suit, throw it in the ice cream cooler, and take it out about an hour. I mean, like it'd be in there for an hour, and then he'd take it, run it, put it up. I mean, there's so many pictures of him running around Thailand in his underwear. It's just ridiculous.
It was so hot.
It was so hot.
And humid.
Well, and these airplanes don't have air conditioners in them, guys. Most small airplanes don't.
No.
So if it's 104, it's 104 in that cockpit or more. I bet those airplanes smelled wonderful at the end of the week.
Yeah, you can be dehydrated after a race.
Yeah.
I mean, you end up sweating and just... I remember in Thailand, I would drink just 3 waters real quick, and then I would dump the other 3 just down my suit before I would get in the airplane. And I would make it, but I was just wore out by the end of the race.
Well, and Reno's not the coolest place on the planet either.
No, it's not that bad.
There's the hot rod.
We race real early in the morning, and so it's usually fairly cool for us to race.
Well, if it's the desert climate, I mean, it gets 30s and 40s at night, and then 100 in the day. It's amazing the big shifts.
Yeah, it does heat up in the afternoon, and when we do have the gold race, they allow us to race later in the day, so more people are there to see it. So when you do race on that one, it's hotter.
And then here's this picture of the hot rod that you were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, that was our grunge year. We were so cool that year. So slow, but so cool looking. We hauled that. Okay, behind this little itty bitty motorhome, we had a trailer with that in it and the airplane. And about 15 miles outside of Reno, we almost didn't make it because we almost blew up the engine on the motorhome, dragging this.
Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah. Because we wanted to be so cool with this. We didn't bring it again.
Because it was heavy.
But we looked good. We looked good.
So Holmes 540 says that you sweat a lot when he's right behind you too.
Yeah, that's cute.
We've given him enough airtime. Carry on. He knows he's never passed me unless it was a demo
There
race.
it is with y'all dragging it right there.
Yeah, that was a fun year. So Nathaniel asked how long the race was. It's about a minute a lap, and we do 8 laps.
So you're talking a 10-minute race usually. By the time you got to take off, get up to airspeed, you're looking at 10 minutes probably.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes in an airplane with no air conditioning in the middle of Reno could get pretty warm, like I said.
Yeah. Well, that engine's getting, it's pushing 500 degrees by the end of the race. So.
And it's not like your car where there's a bunch of insulation between it and you.
No.
I guess, do you get a lot of the heat off of that engine blown into the cabin with you?
It can't blow in because you have a firewall and you don't want fumes or anything. But the heat definitely transfers through the firewall. So it's sealed up for fumes, but the heat still gets through.
So do y'all run just standard avgas in these, or do you have a race fuel that you use?
No, we're not allowed to run race fuel. It's just straight avgas.
Just curious,
There may or may not be some who have done some interesting fuel options in foreign countries, but I'm not going to name any names. But it wasn't us.
Well, you did say that fuel was a hard commodity in some of those other countries.
Yeah, but apparently it's not hard to find things that make your fuel go faster, make your plane go faster. What's it called? Oxidizer.
It's a new one.
Illegal, by the way.
Illegal. But again, in a foreign country.
Well, what's illegal in here is not illegal in the other countries.
You say so.
Things are different.
Obviously.
So, yeah. So, did we make them through them all, Lori? Yeah. Okay. Well, guys, I mean, it's been an amazing evening. Is there any other questions from our community, guys? I don't want to keep them all night long. This has been a lot of fun having you guys. But, I mean, if you've got questions for the actual air racer guys, here it is. Here's your chance. Let's see them in those comments.
Has anyone ever cheated at the races? Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes.
See, at least they're honest.
No, we haven't cheated.
No, we haven't.
No,
no matter how many times I've said, just do it, Philip, dive.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of dive, what's the minimum and maximum altitude allowed in a race?
We're typically, the pylons are at 50 feet above the ground. And when we pass the pylon, our head in the cockpit has to be no lower than the bucket or the barrel. And so that's 50 feet. And then if you're over 250, you'll get disqualified. So if you're too high, you're disqualified. And then also if you fly too low, you're disqualified.
Oh, Scott just said you cheated in El Bandito. Ugh.
How did I cheat?
Ugh. So, Nathaniel, Philip started out with an airplane that cost him about $5,000. So, Formula One is something that you can easily get into, and it just goes up from there.
I imagine it's like radio control. Guys, you can get into it for a pretty reasonable price, but crack would have been cheaper at the end of the day.
But the minute that you land, you want to go faster, and every time you go faster, it's another $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000. Who knows?
So it just goes up and up. Do you fly aerobatics for fun?
I have a low-level waiver to fly aerobatics in the Spitfire. So I do air shows with the Spitfire.
There you go. What is the fastest you've ever gone in an airplane?
In the race plane?
In any airplane. Robert is asking, what's the fastest you've ever gone?
Well, the ones I fly for a living are fast. They're...
No, we're talking race planes.
Yeah, let's talk race planes.
Race planes.
So we do what's called dive testing to see for flutter in the controls and anything else. And I've had The one that won last year, I helped the guy after he built it and finished it. He brought it to my place, and we flew all the time off of it. And one of the things you have to do is dive test it. And I took it a little over 300 miles an hour in the dive. So wow. I think I did about 350.
That is scooting.
Yeah, it was. Things happen quick that way.
So George Watts is asking, if you guys don't want to answer any of these questions, you don't have to. But what is the average cost?
This is not top secret. This is not top secret information.
I mean, if it was personal or anything, but what is the average cost of a race season for you guys?
You could, well, for us, it's insane because, like I said, we put a lot of money into the group, not just ourselves. We buy food and we get sponsors we feed the whole hangar throughout the whole week we're there.
And the reason we're able to do that is because of our #1 sponsor, which is Grocery Outlet.
Woo! Give them a shout out. That's fine.
Dean and Sarah Biggs. They are a family-owned store. It's called Grocery Outlet. They've got one in Lemon Valley, and they've got one in there's another store there. I can't think of what it is. I haven't been there yet. But
she said Lemon Valley, but for most of you guys that are probably in Florida, that's Reno.
Actually, our guys are nationwide.
Nationwide.
Oh, well then. But you could plan on probably 5,000 for, after you have your airplane and you own your trailer and you own everything. Right.
Let's not forget you got to have a $50,000 truck and a $10,000 trailer and a...
We've never had any of that. We have never had a $50,000 truck. We are cheap. We are the cheapest team out there, probably.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You guys are doing it.
No. So you've got your entry fee. Well, you've got PRS first. You have to take PRS, George, and then you've got your entry fee. You've got your insurance, hotels, food, fuel, things like that. So Philip's about right. The low end is about 5,000, and then it just can go up from there depending upon what you want to do and whether you want T-shirts and
right. It's swag for people to buy.
We do T-shirts and then we just give them away. A lot of people sell them. We just go throw them in the stands and do fun stuff. We have koozies made. We throw those in the stands.
All right, Gav is back again. How low have you gone in the middle of a race? Because I see clips where you guys are like 50 feet off the ground, which 50 feet is the pylon. That's where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, so you'll actually get disqualified for flying lower than that, and I've never been disqualified. So that's the goal, is to never be disqualified. Blair Hamilton, if you're watching.
That was a bad pylon judge. Bad judge. It was not Blair at all.
Was that a jab?
Well, she started racing last year. Her and her husband bought an airplane, and they both raced. And she
kicked his ass.
She kicked everyone's ass. And on the back stretch, she just kept flying lower and lower and lower. And the whole time I'm like, come on, Blair, get it up, get it up. And then they called me after the race, and they're like, yeah, she was disqualified. So even though she won the race physically, she still came in last place because she got disqualified.
Again.
But it was still awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And it was a bad pylon judge.
So Dennis Farley, he's a very big supporter of the channel. How many races per year do you guys do? Now, this depended when y'all were doing your F1 World Championship. This is a lot different.
Yeah. So 3 years ago, we had 2 races. The year before that, we had 2 races. The year before that, we had 3 races. So it's kind of fluctuated, with the economy now. It's going up and down. So we had 2 international races and Reno. Oh, no. Ely, too. We had the race in Ely. So there were 3 races that year as well.
And at those races, how many heats are there to complete a day of racing? Or a week of racing, I should say.
A week of racing, there's 3 different heats.
So that
you do personally. Right. So there's there's 3 what we call the heats. There's a bronze, silver, and gold heat, and then each one of those heats gets usually 3 heats and a final. So there's roughly 4 races. 3 to 4, depends on how the schedule goes.
And I guess another question that nobody's asked yet, but what type of pilot's license is required to get into racing? Because I'm guessing you can't get your private license and go racing.
Yeah, you can.
You can. You don't need to have a commercial.
You have to have a private license and a second-class medical.
Okay.
And 500 hours.
Huh. Really? It's only 500 hours. I thought it would be more than that.
Nope. It can actually be less. There's a formula, once you're flying a Formula 1 airplane, if you have so many hours in that, they can actually make it to where you can race with less hours. Because most of your flight time is in a Formula 1 plane.
Huh.
So the guy that won 2 years ago,
Ooh.
he only had, I think, about 250, 300 hours.
Wow.
And he was another guy. I got to quit bringing guys to my house because they come here. They come here and they get their stuff all built up, awesome, and then they go win and
they
kick
beat
my
you.
ass. Yeah,
You gotta quit doing that.
We have seriously had 2 champions come out of our Flyboys race camp.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, and then y'all had the other house too that I always used to see on Facebook where Philip was buzzing your house. I think Lori's got a video of maybe one taken off for you guys. I think this is off of the
Hopefully
Facebook.
it's a good video that's legal and can be shown.
I think so. This one's off your Facebook. It's just a plane taken off. We were careful with what we showed tonight, guys, just because we didn't want to copyright.
We don't care. We don't care.
Oh, it's laggy. But there you go. There's one taken off in Reno.
That's quad nickel. And that's the one I'm going to race next year.
So, maybe we can find some other videos later on and put them up on the channel for you guys that have enjoyed the show from Reno. You guys flying. I'm sure you've got videos somewhere. We'll have to just look for it. But
there's tons on YouTube.
Guys, we put this together.
In that video, you can see him. He took off, and he's joining the course now. So he's doing a lap. This is a qualifying lap. So he's getting up to speed there. Is it lagging where everybody else sees it too?
I don't know what's going on with it. It may be just trying to push too much right now, but
It's because it's going so fast.
well, we've got Skype going and a bunch of other stuff, and then we're trying to play that over the internet too right now.
Yeah.
And that airplane's just moving so fast.
So fast.
But yeah, I mean.
So that's you see him racing in 2021 is quad nickel number 45.
Should be fast.
Should be. With you at the sticks, right?
Oh, it's going to be.
With
What?
you at the sticks, it will be.
Well, I can only do what I can do with what I got.
Well, like I said, guys, I don't want to keep y'all too long. I really think this was a neat introduction to a lot of these guys that haven't really ever looked at air racing, We all the RC guys hear about Reno and about airplanes, and I think this might have been just a really neat experience for them to talk to somebody that has lived it and actually can explain how it is. And you guys that are interested in this now, check it out. F1, Reno Air Races, you can put that into YouTube, and there's 10 bazillion videos that'll pop up about this. And, I mean, check it out.
Formula 1 air racing, and then Air Race 1 is the international races we do. So they can look that up. And then the other one is the NBC Sports.
Right. So, I mean, guys, check it out.
Yeah, it's a Reno Air Race has been going
50 some years, 60 years.
50,
I don't know.
57 years now, I think. So, pretty cool, very historic event.
Right. And we've got Kermit Weeks just up the road here, and he's got a bunch of the Reno historic planes at his hangar, too, which are really neat to go see. One day, if y'all come out to visit, we'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, I know Kermit. He's got all kinds of toys.
He's got lots of toys. Yeah, his house is about 30 minutes from us.
Cool.
Well, if you're interested in more information, just go ahead and go on Facebook. We've got a Friends of IF1 group. We also have Flyboys Race Camp, which is here in Big Spring, and it's all rookies usually that come and bring their airplanes here, and so you can see them start from, the very beginnings of their very first flight to actually making it to Reno. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome, guys.
Any questions?
Yeah, any other question, guys?
Any other questions?
Somebody was asking how much fuel do you use in a race?
About 3 gallons.
How big is your gas tank?
It has to be a minimum of
There
5.
you go. You always want to fly with a little bit extra. Never good to run out of gas in an airplane.
No, it has to be 5 gallons, and you have to have 5 gallons in it. They actually stick and check the tank before you race.
Wait.
Oh, for the weight of the airplane. Yep. Well, guys.
Remember that. Want to be the lightest possible, and you don't diet. Yeah.
Right. Well, like I said, guys, thank y'all so much for being here. I think we've answered most of these guys' questions tonight. Who knows? Maybe we could have you back in the future, too. Next year we'll have Reno again, and if you get any new projects going, or Laura, you've got some kind of weird commercial going. Oh, that's on the other screen. Never mind. They can't see that weird commercial. But
we can see
it. We can all see it.
That was weird. I think you said you were going to join us next year on the trek to Reno. So that will be the next whatever this thing's called, Skype podcast.
Mary Boozer RC. We're going to go. We're going to take our camera gear. We'll go out there and film it for real and make us some sweet videos of it.
It'd be awesome. We got Johanna Berger. She was on our crew from Alaska. Yep. Her and her kids and her husband.
Hi, Johanna. Well, I'm sorry, Johanna, that you got here right as we were getting ready to head out of here. But, man, guys, I really, really do appreciate you guys coming on the show. It really means a lot to me. Like I said, these guys have been a big part of my life and my love for aviation. And I'm so glad I got to have them here on the channel to talk about some of their experiences in life. And so you guys could see a different aspect of aviation tonight. And
this is our first one. We were virgins until tonight. You know that, right?
Well, I'm not the greatest interview man in the world, but I'm not bad for the RC community.
I think you did a great job.
I really do appreciate everything you guys have done for us tonight, though. I really do. And guys, I hate cutting these things off. I always enjoy spending the evening with everybody and showing off these beautiful airplanes and these wonderful people that come on to hang out with us. But I think it's about that time. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends if you enjoyed this video and you know somebody that might enjoy it and be interested in air racing, please share it with them. I couldn't think of a better team to have had on this show from Reno. And who knows, maybe we'll have some of their other competitors on the show in the future. Who knows?
Oh, that'd be good.
Maybe we can get multiples of y'all on here.
Now get in touch with Scott. We'll see what he has to say.
Right. Maybe we'll get Scott.
We have a video, just so you know. We have a video that shows proof of
that's
the one.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah. It's on YouTube. There you go.
No matter what Scott tells you.
So, guys, like I said, thank y'all so much. George Watch, thank you for the super chat, brother. We do appreciate it. Guys, we're going to get out of here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Bye, guys. We really appreciate it once again.
No problem.
Bye.